and that's Dr. Valerie Florance. She's the associate director. She's been at NLM for over 16 years, and I think it's interesting that back in 2000, she had an editorial in the Annals of Internal Medicine entitled "The Informationist, a New Health Profession." Valerie directs the Extramural Programs Division with overall responsibility for research, training, career development, small business, and resource grant programs. NLM's grant programs focus on the development, I think you've heard a little bit of this, of novel informatics and data science methods and approaches to meet the needs in biomedical and behavioral research related to human health. She also serves as the program director for NLM's highly regarded university-based training programs in biomedical informatics and data science. One tidbit I learned is that she is the mother of a famous punk rock musician. Says something about my data searching skills because I wasn't able to figure out who that was, but maybe she'll tell us later, or maybe I just don't know punk rock musicians. And she also did field work in 5 Western states studying rural doctors, also a vanishing tribe. The title of her talk is Data Science, 3 Questions. Welcome, Valerie.
Well, you've heard the vision. I guess you could think of me as the recruiter, right? And I had hoped that I could start my recruitment with some kind of joke, like a data scientist and a librarian walked into a bar, or something like that. But there aren't any jokes like that, or if there are, I didn't find them. So I'm going to talk about data science and just ask 3 questions. So I thought I would start with, what do data scientists actually do? We've been talking a lot about it. Well, you know, back in 2012, the Harvard Business Review said, it's the sexiest job on earth. And what we do is we work with open source resources. We bring together data sets. Some of them might be incomplete. Some of them might be perfect, and discover new things by merging those data sets. And then 2 years later, the New York Times was more realistic, some people feel, by talking about the data janitor work and the fact that many people who are data scientists say they spend 50 to 80% of their time doing data wrangling and data munging and whatever other words you want to apply. Because the reality is, when you are bringing in huge, disparate data sets from different places, they aren't going to be perfectly easily mergeable. But there are a lot of other things that data scientists can do and do. And for example, they make it easy to see the big picture. And I don't know if you're a fan of Hans Rosling's work. He's one of my real heroes. If you've never seen his TED Talk about the magic washing machine, please go find it and watch it. And you'll know once you see it why I love it. Data scientists also enable the kind of precision medicine we've been talking about, trying to link exposome and phenome. This is work going on at Harvard that's being reported here, but there's work going on all over the place, trying to figure out how to pull together the full context that will help us understand health of an individual. Now, this is a shameless plug for that grant program that Patty just mentioned, right? We have a new grant program that is looking to bring the benefits of data science to consumers and patients, because really, their health literacy, their language skills, their technical abilities, their sophistication, their cultures are not all the same, and the way information is presented, all the great talks I've listened to here, you know, some of them I would be hard-pressed to try and describe to my grandchildren what they were about. So I think there is plenty of work to be done, and our next application deadline is March 19th, 2018. You've got plenty of time to get started. So question number 2, right? So those are some examples of what data scientists do. What kind of training do they need? So I'm going to try and convince you that NLM's model of training is an appropriate model for this kind of work. NLM has been funding training in biomedical informatics for decades. In fact, Stanford's is one of the longest running programs we've supported. We've supported biomedical informatics training here for 34 years. And we've built a field in universities. And I will say, unlike other parts of NIH, we spend a quarter of our grant budget on training. So it's pretty important. We know that. And we have a unique model that I want to say a little more. Oh, I want to go back for a second and say, we know that our community of trainees, when they graduate, some go to industry, some go to academics. We also know some go to healthcare organizations, and we know that people also move in and out of those organizations too. What we want is the biomedical informatics research, the methods and processes that we need to move everything forward. So we have, in our training programs, we mix people from different sectors, if you want to call it, healthcare, from the biology side, from the translational side. They are treated as a cohort. And so they have to listen to each other, give talks, right? And at our annual training conference, sometimes I go, I don't want to have to listen to those people. But the fact is, you do have to listen to them if you want to actually work in biomedical informatics in any of these areas. You have to be able to communicate with the people whose discipline is different from your own. So we have some core curricula. We try not to tell universities what to teach, but we tell them about the kinds of ways we think our trainees should be trained. And many instructional methods are used. I'm sure some of you have experienced all of these, right? Some have probably not. So the next question is, how can data science help make data fair? Now, everybody's heard of this controversy of data parasites, right? The New England Journal of Medicine saying people who reuse data are parasites. Well, we don't agree with that, and we actually think data sharing is quite important. So trying to make data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable is at the core of what Patty's talking about, what we're trying to do in the larger world. And so I'm going to play a video.
Hello. My name is Dr. Judy Benign. I'm an oncologist at NYU School of Medicine.
Hello, Dr. Judy Benign.
I read your article on B-cell function. I think that I could use the data for my work on pancreatic cancer.
I am not an oncologist.
I know, but I think I could use the data for my work on pancreatic cancer. Do you have the data?
Everything you need to know is in the article.
No. What I need is the data. Will you share your data?
I am not sure that will be possible.
But your work is in PubMed Central and was funded by NIH.
That is true.
And it was published in Science, which requires that you share your data.
I did publish in Science.
Then I am requesting your data. Can I have a copy of your data?
I am not sure where my data is.
But surely you saved your data.
I did. I saved it on a USB drive.
Where is the USB drive?
It is in a box. It is in a box at home. I just moved.
But can I use your data?
There are many boxes. So many boxes. I forgot to label the boxes.
Hello again. Thank you for sending me a copy of your data on a USB drive. I received the envelope yesterday.
You are welcome, but I will need that back when you are finished. That is my only copy.
I did have a question.
What is your question? You might find the answer in my article.
No. I received the data, but when I opened it up, it was in hexadecimal.
Yes, that is right.
I cannot read hexadecimal.
You asked for my data and I gave it to you. I have done what you asked.
But is there a way to read the hexadecimal?
You will need the program that created the hexadecimal file.
Yes, I will. What is the name of the program?
Cytosynth.
I do not know this program.
It was a very good program. The company that made the program went bankrupt in 2007.
Do you have a copy of the program?
I do not use this program anymore because the company that made it went bankrupt. Maybe you can buy a copy on eBay.
I have good news.
You again.
I talked to my colleague. She knew a person with a copy of the software.
Then why do you need me? Everything you need to know about the data is in the article.
I opened the data and I could not understand it.
If you have the program, you will find it is clear.
Well, I noticed that you called your data fields SAM. Is that an abbreviation?
Yes, it is an abbreviation of my co-author's name. His name is Samuel Lee. We call him Sam.
I see. And what is the content of the field called SAM1?
Ah yes, SAM1 is the level of CXCR4 expression.
And what is the content of the field called SAM2?
That is logical if you think about it.
What is the content of the field called SAM2?
I don't remember.
What about SAM3? Is there a guide to the data anywhere?
Yes, of course. It is the article that is published in Science.
The article does not tell me what the field names mean. Is there any record of what these field names mean?
Yes. My co-author knows what the content of SAM2 is and SAM3. And SAM4.
Can I talk to your co-author?
I'm not sure.
I would very much like to talk to your co-author.
Well, he was a graduate student. He went back to China 2 years ago.
Can I have his contact information?
He is in China. His name is Sam Lee.
I think I cannot use your data.
You could check the article to see if what you need is there.
Please stop talking now.
So I hope you know why I showed you that video. And this was produced by librarians funded by the National Library of Medicine to work in research teams at NYU and based on the kinds of things they saw happening and also the kind of training that needs to happen at lots of levels. But that isn't everything, right? There are many exciting things that we need data scientists for, aside from figuring out how to have those scenarios never happen again. And if you looked at Patty created some wonderful examples of kinds of research. There are plenty of kinds to be done. And so I really, if you're not already thinking about this as a career area or research area, I certainly hope you will, because findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable are really important if we're going to get to that next world that we're talking about. And one more thing I would say, if you would like to get a hold of me, if you write that joke or you find a joke, send it to me, and I will put it in the library director's blog. Thank you.